paradox of identity is that it involves us simultaneously being different from everyone else and yet the same as others with whom we identify. It is then a desire to be unique, distinctive, and different at one, and at the same time as a concern to identify with a particular doctrine, set of ideas, faction, gender, race, organization, culture, nation, and so on. This sense of our separate identity wish also gave rise to a very powerful yet unrealistic emotion inside our skin, which is ego. Ego has a very strong grip to the word I, and for which most of us spend a lifetime in getting a hold of it in a way so that it would be cherished and protected. Saying all that, it is also wise to say that our conscious brains don't know how to exist in a world without this emotion of ego, and we are wired to it. But what if you happen to exist in such a world where your ego, with all its sets of ideologies and standards, could only exist, and there is no other identity except you? At that very moment, you will lose your identity, the reason because it only exists in relation to other identities around it. If there is no one to compare, then the question who you are doesn't matter. Alan Watts stands out among other 20th century philosophers for several reasons. One of them is that he proposed the idea about the ego or self as an isolated being not connected to the rest of the universe, and given us a holistic view of the world outside of ourselves. Working from Hindu Vedanta and other assorted Eastern works, Watts crafts a new way to view the self and the universe together. According to Watts, our universe of interdependent systems is made up of many parts that build a whole. We see this principle over and over again. You can walk around with the sense of being whole and have the knowledge that numerous cells make up who you are physically. It is beautiful that we can be diverse in so many ways and still be here together as one. Living in harmony is acceptance of what separates us and acknowledgement of how we are knit together. In one of his famous talks, he beautifully explains the harmonious connection between us in these words. In order to describe my behavior, I have to describe your behavior and the behavior of the environment. It means that we really got one system of behavior. That what I am involves what you are. I don't know who I am unless I know who you are, and you don't know who you are unless you know who I am. In other words, we are not separate, and it is therefore very important to understand that the sense of I and the illusion of its separateness from the rest of the universe is so pervasive and so deeply rooted in the infrastructure of our language, our institutions, and our cultural conventions that we find ourselves unable to experience selfhood except as something superficial in the scheme of the universe. The antidote lies in recognizing not merely that we belong to and with the rest of the universe, but that there is no rest in the first place. We are the universe. Do subscribe and hit the like button, and don't forget to share your favorite quote from Alan Watts in the comment section.